Okay, so a few years back, Apple brought out the iPhone, and I decided that I was going to start building mobile apps because it seemed like something that would be cool and fun and easy. And around about the same time, I also went into surgery and had my tonsils removed, and I broke up with my girlfriend, and these things aren't live. And out of those three things, the most painful experience, the most horrible thing out of the three was, of course, building mobile apps. So, a few years have gone by now, and things have changed. I've married a lovely Latvian girl who's sitting in the audience. I don't get tonsillitis anymore, which is good. But unfortunately, building mobile apps, instead of getting easier, has actually gotten more difficult and more complicated. Because now, not only do you have the iPhone and all of the problems of getting into iPhone development, and there's a lot of those, they haven't improved. But you now have the Android platform as well, and a whole different range of problems that are equal to the problems in the iPhone development. So you really now have twice the problems. And this is the reason that I built appMode. appMode allows just about anyone to build mobile apps in a matter of minutes. You can design, develop, and deploy your mobile apps completely from the browser. You don't need to download anything, you don't need to install anything on your computer, there's no complex setup. It's really, really easy to use. And I'll show you just how easy it is to use. So what we have here is a video demonstrating how you go about building an application, and it's very quick. First of all, you design your interface, and it's all point and click, drag and drop. You can change the text on things. I type very slowly in this demo. You can move things around, you can change colours. Once you've finished designing your interface, you can go into the code editor and you can actually edit your code. Now this is done in JavaScript. It's a single language which works on all of the platforms rather than having to learn different languages for different platforms. And when you're done, you save your app and immediately it's available for you to test on your phone. You just point your phone at the QR code and away you go, you can test it there. If you hit the build button, it will actually send it off to our build servers, and each of those packages there will be created, and you'll get QR codes to download them when they're ready. So that's how easy it is to use. It's so easy that pretty much any of the 10 million web developers out there should just be able to pick up the system, start working with it, not really need any training, and be able to build mobile apps very quickly. There's also about 1.6 million JavaScript developers out there. And these developers, not only can they use the system to create applications, they have the skills required to actually build widgets which can go into the system and form the building blocks that you actually use to create an application. And this is how we've built our business model around it. Because we've made it so easy for people to get into development, we're going to have a very large pool of entry-level developers. We're also going to have a smaller, but still large, pool of more experienced developers who are able to create the components that go into building an app, and then they're going to be able to sell them in our open marketplace. And what we're doing is we're taking the same model that Apple uses for the iStore, and we're applying that to the development process. So whenever one developer sells a component to another developer, we charge them a commission, and that's how we make our money. So, entering into the market, the key for us is going to be the community, and it's going to be those developers that don't just use the system, they actually contribute to the system. They write these widgets, they put them into the system, and they sell them. Because they're not just going to put them in there and then forget about them. These are going to be the users that go out and tell other people about it. They'll blog about it, they'll talk about it, they'll tell their friends. And we're actively targeting these people at conferences and user groups, because the people that go to conferences, developers conferences, the people that go to user groups, they're the kind of developers who will talk about it because they're actively involved. We know they're active because we're targeting them where they're active. So, the mobile development market, it's very broad. There's already a lot of players in the market, but they're all doing different things, and it's very, very fragmented. And what you have is a situation where You've got these companies that are working on maybe something that's really cool and really simple, easy to use, but it's very small, and it only provides a very small piece of the puzzle. And then at the other end of the scale, you've got larger companies that have a broader offering that they might have an almost complete system for developing your apps, but it's very difficult to use. It's very difficult to get started with. There's a lot of stuff to install, there's a lot of stuff to configure, there's a lot of things to learn. So there's not really anyone in the market that does the complete application, the complete end-to-end solution that we've created. The other advantages that we have are 7 years of experience in the technology behind appMode. We've been working on this, we've been using this for commercial projects for a long time, and we've pioneered a lot of the technology that's in the back end of this. And along with that, 9 years of experience in the community, presenting at conferences, running user groups, just really being involved with a lot of developers. And you know, this is what's going to form the core of our community, and we're already involved, we're already doing that. So at the moment, the team is just myself. I've been hacking on computers for the last 25 years. I've been commercially developing and running software teams for the last 15 years. I've won awards for software that I've created. I've presented at conferences around the world. I've run user groups. I've got a lot of experience in the areas that we're working in. And as you can see, one of the next things that we need to do is I need to actually find a co-founder and bring him on board. I have someone that I have in mind for this, and I will be speaking to him in the next couple of weeks in more detail about bringing him on board, because I don't want to do everything myself. It's always good to have a partner there. So what we have right now is an alpha version of the system, which is what you saw demonstrated before, and we've got the beginnings of the community exposure. At the end of last month, I actually presented the project at LinuxTag in Berlin and did some presentations there. And I've been asked to present at a conference on mobile development in Poland in September. The next things for us to do are obviously to create the beta version, to get it out there and start bringing that community in and growing the community around it, and then getting some published apps into the app stores so that we can actually say to people, this is what can be created with our system. We can show to them. It's no longer a concept, it's a reality, and we can say, this is all done without any hassle, very easy. And to achieve that, what we need is from 100,000 to 200,000 euros, and that's going to fund our development and our marketing. And that's what we're looking for tonight. So, any questions? I'm more than happy to answer.
Thank you, Floyd. Dennis. You have questions so far?
Toby Moore, Intermarché Capital. I think it makes sense for that sort of e-commerce solution if the market is global and very fragmented. But just to get started, how many apps do you think, or the components of apps would be needed to get it started?
To actually get people started building apps only really takes a small handful of widgets, because there are toolkits out there already which people are creating apps with that maybe have 10 to 20 widgets in there. So we will be able to start getting useful apps built with about 10 to 20, but to really start getting people in and getting people really interested in the system, we're probably looking at needing 100 plus. And that is another thing that will really differentiate us from the competitors, because most of the competitors have a very small, very closed set of widgets, and that's it, you're locked into those, whereas we're just going to have an ever-expanding array of widgets.
Right. That was it?
And the economics of it, so it's the appMode will take a commission on sales, and what's your idea of numbers in terms of money, say first year, second year?
The commission that we're looking at taking is 30%. It's the same as what Apple charge in the iStore. It's what developers are already used to paying. as for numbers in the first 2 years, any projections that we come up with are really going to be just grabbing figures out of the air, and I really wouldn't like to say at this stage.
Right.
Yes. Is this your hobby project?
Sorry?
How you came to this product?
Okay, as it said in the slides, I've been working on this for 7 years in one form or another. And I started this before people were building mobile apps, and I started it as a framework for building web applications for the business that I had, which was building the internet applications. And over the last 7 years, I've refined it and I've used it for that. So the toolkit used for creating the mobile apps is actually exactly the same toolkit that's used for creating the web application that creates them. So it's already, the toolkit and the technology has already been used, it's already tested, it's already being used commercially. It's not being used commercially yet for mobile apps. It's all intranet stuff, so it's not really something that you can see other than the app that's there. But is it a hobby? No, it's a business, and it has been for the last 7 years.
Okay, I have a few questions, things to clarify. First thing is, you mentioned that the team is you now, right?
Yes.
Could you describe what competences and skill set you would require for the second founder?
If I could clone myself, that would be good. Someone
it won't, but
Someone who shares the vision that I have for development in the browser is a requirement, and this is the person that I'm speaking to in the next couple of weeks is someone that fits that bill. Where I see myself moving forward within the company is doing a lot of the marketing, a lot of the visiting user groups and trade conferences. So someone that can actually take over the technical side more and running the development team is one of the people that I'm looking for. I also need people for finance and business side of things, but I'm more looking for that in the investors rather than in a team member. In a team member, I'm looking for something technical and someone that can basically pick up the slack for things I'd like to do but can't do because I don't have the time.
are you an experienced marketeer?
I'm not experienced in marketing. I'm experienced with the user groups and the conferences, and I will be doing that section of the marketing. Marketing beyond that, and there are a lot of opportunities for marketing beyond that, I realise. That kind of marketing, I want to bring someone else in, and I want to do that through the investors, because they will have people who are experienced in marketing.
Right.
Are you sure that the 200,000 or 300,000 euros is sufficient for developers team and all that you plan?
I have actually talked to consultants about this and about the level of funding that I will require to get us through the first year, to get us past beta and get us to a point where we can actually seek another round of investment and then sort of grow exponentially after that. So yes, I've done research on the amount and I have consulted with people on it.
So you partly answered my second part of the questions, which was, now, but the one you still didn't. You mentioned the spread that's 100 to 200 euros. It's the spread is way too big. So what are the changing factors? What are the variables in there? And the second question on top of that is what exactly that money would go for?
Well, we have big plans and we have small plans, and it depends on how much money we can get for investment. Obviously, with the big plans, we grow bigger faster. The money goes on development and it goes on marketing. There will be an amount of travel involved in going to conferences and user groups. There will also be promotional materials sent out to the user groups. There will be other marketing that's done as well as that, but it's all going to go on marketing and development, and I think primarily on development.
Right, thanks. So one question from the audience. No, thank you.